Alright traders, welcome back. Today I'm looking at the 714 method, but my own version. We all know that the original idea is from Mashaya, so please do not come for me in the comment section. In today's video, I'm going to run this test on Bitcoin to see how my variation performs. So now here on the screen, we have Bitcoin on the 5 minutes time frame. So now remember, this is a scalping strategy, so therefore we are going to scale to the lowest time frame possible. And in this case, this is going to be the 5 minutes time frame. You can also trade on a 15 minutes time frame, but I prefer the 5 minutes time frame. So now the second thing that you want to do is to make sure that your time zone is on UTC +2. Okay, so now as you can see, I have my vertical line here at exactly 1 p.m. all right, so we're going to start on the 1st of September, Monday. Okay, so now as always, our focus point is going to be here at 1 p.m. okay, and we're still going to apply the same concepts, right? So now if price goes up, we are going to look for selling opportunities, right? And now if price goes down from 1 p.m., remember from 1 p.m., if price goes down, we are going to look for buying opportunities, right? So now this 1 p.m. right here, this is our observation window. We start to observe price movement, whether price is going to the upside or whether price is going to the downside, right? So now, in this case, we see that price from 1 p.m. pushed up, okay? So when we see a bullish movement from 1 p.m., this means that we are going to look for selling opportunities. So now remember, this is my own version of the 714 method, okay? So for me, I enter trades based on support and resistance. So now when we look at this chart, we can see that we have this resistance zone up here, okay? So we see that price did not reach the resistance zone to the top, right? So now I want to show you something here. If you draw this line here, okay, and focus here, what do you see? We see that price failed to break below here and then pushed to the upside, okay? So now what does this mean? This means that this is a support, okay? Price came down, failed to push below this line, therefore making it a support zone, all right? And then we see that it pushed price to the upside and then dropped again. So now let's take a look at here. We're still on the same line here, okay? So this was a support, and technically, on a technical side of trading, we know that a support zone can become a resistance zone, right? And also a resistance zone can become a support zone. So now in this case, we see that a support zone became a resistance zone, right? We see that this was a support zone right here, and now it became a resistance zone right here, right? So now when I have a line like this means that we are going to look for selling opportunities, right? Remember that from 1 p.m. we see that this is a bullish move going to the upside. So now in our heads, we already know that we are going to look for selling opportunities, okay? Now after that, that's when we start to look for our entry reasons. We look for our resistance zone, okay? We have this resistance zone up here, and we also have this resistance zone right here, meaning that when you enter here, you can put your stop loss just above the upper resistance zone to be on the safe side, okay? And now our target is going to be the support zone down here, right? And from here we can see that price dropped to the downside, right? and finally until here to this level and reaching our target right here. Okay, so now this means that our trade is complete for the day, right? And as you can see, guys, this is simple and straightforward. Remember, again, this is my own version, guys. This is my own version. This is not the original 714 method, please. All right, so now let us move on to the next day. Let's see what happened on Tuesday. All right, traders, so now we are on Tuesday, and as always, our focus point is going to be here at 1 p.m. right? So now let me adjust this to be exactly at 1 p.m. okay, this is exactly at 1 p.m. right? So now when we observe price movement here, what do we see? We notice that price pushed to the downside here. So since price pushed to the downside, this means that we are going to look for buying opportunities. And again, we do not just enter blindly. So this means that we need to look for a support zone for us to enter a buy trade, right? So what do? We look to the left side. So now let us zoom out and see if we have any valid support zone, right? All right, so now the first and most obvious zone is this one right here. Okay, we see that price rejected here and again rejected from here. So this means that we can anticipate price to reject again, but we see that price pushed slightly to the downside. Okay, price pushed slightly to the downside, and let's look at this. You can see that we have another strong support here. Price rejected here, rejected again from this level, and from here rejected again. Okay, so now let's say in this case you were able to see this as your support zone. Okay, and then you enter your buy trade here. You enter your buy trade and your target is going to be this this high right here. This is going to be your target, right? So now you can see that if you put your stop loss just to give the market a room to breathe, right? Because even though you have a support zone, it does not necessarily mean that price will just touch your support zone and then reverse immediately, right? So now if you give the market some room to breathe, you are going to catch a lot of trades, right? So like in this example right here, you can see this is the most obvious support zone right here. And then if you placed your buy position right here, price will drop slightly and then start pushing to the upside until hitting our take profit right here. All right, traders, so now we are on Wednesday, the 3rd of September. So now same thing again, our focus point is here at 1 p.m. All right, now let me adjust this to be exactly 1 p.m. All right, so our focus point is here at 1 p.m. right? So now we take a look what happened here. We see from 1 p.m. price was in a ranging market. From here was in a ranging market and then broke to the downside, then started pushing to the upside, right? So now for me, let's say we notice that price is pushing to the downside here. All right, so now this is our most recent and most obvious support zone. Okay, and we can see that price failed to tap into our support zone here. Okay, and then started to push the upside. So now obviously we are not going to be able to catch every single trade. So now this means that in this case we actually missed this trade because we don't want to force trades. Remember, we do not want to force trades. Let's say if you wanted to force it, right? If you wanted to force it, you have this resistance zone right here, okay? And if you take a line here, you might have entered here, but now you are just forcing it right here. So now you're just forcing it. This is the most recent support zone, and we see that price failed to tap into this zone and then started pushing to the upside. Okay, so now this means that on Wednesday we could have missed this trade. All right, so now let's move over to Thursday. All right, so now this is on Thursday, and again our focus point is here. So now from here we see that price again was in a ranging market until it broke to the downside, right? So now this is our most obvious support zone right here. Okay, this is the most obvious support zone, and obviously if we entered here and our target was going to be this high, and as you can see price dropped and then hit the stop loss, we were going to take a loss in this trade, right? Because this is the most obvious support zone. This is the most obvious support zone, and we see that price continued to push the downside and hitting our stop loss right here. All right, I mean, even if you zoom out here, let's see if we zoom out. Yeah, no, this was a loss. This was a loss. So on Thursday we took a loss. Okay, so now what is most important right here is proper risk management. If you don't risk your full account, you are going to survive a loss like this. Okay, because remember, we already had 2 consecutive wins and then 1 missed trade, and then this is a loss. Okay, so 2 wins, 1 loss so far, right? 2 wins and 1 loss so far. So now on Friday, same thing here. Our focus is on 1 p.m. right here, and we can see price pushed to the upside, right? And obviously this is going to be what? Our resistance zone. This is the most obvious resistance zone right here, and we are going to place a sell position, and our target is going to be this, because this is the most obvious support level right here. Okay, and as you can see, price dropped nicely to the downside, hitting our TP right here.